Hey, welcome back to Won't You Be My Neighbor? I'm Brandon from Vegas. As always, we're here with my co-host, Mr. Bill Gaylord. How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing awesome.
And today we have a special new co-host. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Alexandra. Don't call her Alexandria. Welcome to the show.
I'm excited to be here, Brandon and Bill.
Thank you. Hey, give us a little background for the audience who's on, because me and Bill know,
You know.
how real you are.
Yes.
I'm real. I'm
But
here.
you drop it on the audience. Give them your bona fides. Humble flex on them.
See, I got my real estate license in 2005 in California, so I've had it a long time. Started off in new home sales, which was awesome to get into real estate with that because you really learned the integrity of a home, how a home was built, a foundation was laid. So that's how I started my career. I've been in the mortgage industry. I also got to work for Mr. Lauren, Ralph Lauren, in New York City.
God damn.
I know.
God damn. You guys, she's trying to hold back. But like if she listed all of her
things.
skills and professions on you, I swear to God, we'd be here for 30 more minutes. Like this woman is a baller. And I'm very honored to have you on the show.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you, man. So look, we've completed the trifecta. We've got
I know.
a handsome white guy, a handsome lady, and a black guy.
And
We're
a wonderful, handsome black
look
guy.
at
A newlywed.
Newlywed.
Hey,
I
flex
saw
on him,
that
boy.
right
This
here.
is
Look at that
exciting.
ring.
That's right. It's fun
He's
stuff.
off the market, ladies.
Yeah, off the market now.
I don't think I've ever been on the market. I don't
You
think
don't know about that,
I don't think
Brandon.
anybody was watching this for the sex appeal. And so
I don't know, the way you eat a taco.
Yeah, I've seen it. You know, he just digs right into that taco.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
While I was gone, something crazy happened in Vegas. F1 popped around. Did you guys get a chance to go? Did you know anybody who went? Did you hear any feedback?
Well, I got to drive down while they were setting up. So it was like maybe 3-4 days before F1 was in town. And it was incredible to see the workers getting everything beautiful. And I was like, wow, this doesn't look like it's temporary.
Yeah.
This looked like they were putting it up. And for looking at the scaffolding and things to say it's beautiful, but just to say that, wow, the city has really transformed. It was pretty neat to see.
How many drivers were on the track at one time when you were down there?
There was no drive. I was actually driving on. I mean, it was open to the public.
were on the track?
I was on the track. But no, it was still open to the public. But seeing the stadium or the seats, whatever you want to call it, all that going up by the Bellagio was pretty neat to see how it looked.
They transformed an entire city.
It was
right?
overnight.
Like
literally.
all the crappy traffic was about.
Oh, I was just gonna say I had tickets and I didn't use them.
What?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So here's the thing: on the website it says you had to get there at 5 for the race.
In the
to start at
morning?
No, 5 p.m. and the race
Oh,
started
that's
at
right.
10
It starts at
p.m.
12, yeah.
And so like with me and the girlfriend, like the little one doesn't go to bed till 8:30. And I was like, we're gonna miss it. And then I found out no, it took like 45 minutes to get in.
Yeah, from what I heard, there was a bunch of delays and there was a bunch of
No, it wasn't that bad. Is what I was like. It was only
Yeah.
45. I thought it was gonna take like hours to get in.
Yeah.
And I heard it took 45 minutes to get Ubered there and then a 15-minute shuttle ride.
Great.
See, I've heard feedback from both sides. I've heard some people say it was like kind of a shit show. I've heard people say it was amazing watching, the cars in the middle of the city. I love the videos of seeing all of Vegas trying to scam like where we can stand and hold. That's such a Vegas thing. You can't put a race in the middle of this city.
People
right?
were walking on the strip and just kind of like slowly walking, and there was like the CHC or whatever, like the event coordinator. They're like, we're gonna arrest you, and they're like, no, you can't.
No, you can't. This is Vegas. We know the rules on what you guys can do to us or not. What we wanted to talk about today is why right now is the best time to buy a house. A lot of people get confused, distracted, interest rates, numbers. We want to hit them with just the practical reality of why right now is the best time. And Alexandra, as someone who's worked with buyers before, why do you feel like right now, this stretch of time between, late November, beginning of January is such a good time for buyers?
Well, traditionally, people like to buy homes that correlate with the school year. They look at, okay, when can we move into our home? School gets out in May, June. We want to move usually at that time. And one of the things that we forget about is at the end of the year, there could be some incentives. People may need to sell. And coming from the new home sales, the new home sides, those builders may say, hey, we got to get these off our books today. We don't want to go into 2024 with these homes, whether they're standing inventory, whatever it may be. So it's something that I think we often forget. as a consumer, but we also are worried about, well, how do we get our kid into the right school? I don't want to move mid school year. You never know what's going on, especially if you look at a new build. You could always potentially purchase. It may not be ready until May, or you could maybe work something out with your seller and say, hey, I'm buying now, but I'm not going to be able to move. So there's a lot of options to look at. But I think right now, to get in before the buying season, it usually starts right after Super Bowl. And that's when people start to think, spring is coming, school's coming to an end. And I just think right now you're going to get ahead of the traffic. You're going to get ahead of the people that may not be in tune to this golden opportunity.
Yes. You very nicely put that men don't seem to give a shit about kids' schooling until football's over. And that is 100% accurate.
It is. Super Bowl happens, right? It all happens right after Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl ends and guys are like, oh, I have kids. Oh, God.
I have to do this.
School. Let me figure this whole thing out really quickly. But no, you're 100% correct. And I'm glad that you form a new build agent, because right now we are pushing a lot of people towards new builds for the exact reason you said. They got to clear their books. They don't want a standing inventory sitting around coming into the next year, right?
And it might be a good time for you to look at some extra incentives. Maybe they're throwing in a dishwasher. Maybe they're throwing in flooring. Maybe there's whatever they're trying to throw in to get off their books. It could be a really good time for you as a buyer.
What you just said is actually perfect. We have a buyer trying to buy a new build in Summerlin, and in September and October, they were haggling with us over shutters and blinds and a bunch of small stuff I didn't think they should be haggling with. They texted her yesterday like, "Hey, if you still want the house, we're willing to do shutters and blinds." And now she's like, "And I want this, and I want that." And now we're kind of like hardballing them, and it's true.
They have the big home builders. They have money in their back pocket. They have the ability to, we'll throw in flooring, no problem. You get to go to the design centers. They're trying to get maybe some marble, some special tiles that we don't really want to use these in 2024. They're trying to get those off as well. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of consumers don't know.
And a lot of those national home builders, they have to get things sold by the end of the year because they have to keep their stock price up. So they've got to get them done.
Yep. You're playing them much like you would play a seller. A seller has to sell because they don't want to keep paying that mortgage. The new builder doesn't want to keep paying for standing inventory.
Exactly.
That doesn't make them money. What would you say for someone who says, well, I want to wait closer to when school is in session so I have things more figured out? What do you think the new build's going to be more complementary to their needs during that time? No, why?
That was a quick no.
Well, number one, we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
We have an election year coming up. Who knows what's going to happen with interest rates? Who knows what's going to happen with standing? We just don't know. And so we know what is here in front of us today, and there is this golden opportunity in the next 6 weeks, I'd say, to get in. You know what's in front of you. Looking at your school, I don't necessarily know what you can do with your school, but there might be an opportunity for the school to say, yeah, we'll keep you for the rest of the year. Who knows? There's ways around it, but if buying a home is your priority right now, today, is for whether it's financial reasons, whether it's for your family, whatever, I would do it today. I wouldn't wait 6 months.
Sure. I agree with you. I think it's much easier from a financial perspective to get the house for a better price, and you can worry about the school later.
Exactly.
Right? You're already in the school. They're not going to be like, well, you moved, we're going to kick you out. It's not going to work that way.
I'm sure they'll work with you.
I'm sure they'll work with you, right? No one wants to be put on the Fox News like, local 8th grader gets kicked out of school because
parents bought a new house.
Family tries to provide better life for, it's not going to go down that way. And I'm with you. Bill, from a lending perspective, in fact, goddamn, you do every job in the world. From a lending perspective, how do you guys feel about this timeline when there's fewer buyers on the market and it's more focused on a specific set of buyers?
From a lending standpoint, a lot of it is like there's not quite as many buyers out there that can qualify, but we're seeing rates drop. And that's going to bring in more buyers into the marketplace. Yeah. So I think that if they can actually afford to buy and qualify, they're going to have more inventory to look at, and they're going to be able to get into the house now, the house that they want, at probably a little bit lower sale price than it would be otherwise. And down the road, if the rates drop, and the likelihood of them dropping is very high,
election season,
they refinance, right? So buying now, I think, is really good. And the interesting thing about Vegas, I saw a statistic just yesterday where Vegas is one of only 3 cities that have actually had more volume in sales than this year than they did last year.
Wow, can you repeat that again for the audience? Audience,
Yeah,
make sure you listen to this. Bill always comes in here with some mind-blowing stat, and he drops it so casually, and I'm like, wait. Repeat that real quick for him.
So, year over year, they look at how many sales have been in the real estate market. Vegas is one of 3 cities where the number of sales in 2023 is more than it was in 2022. One of 3 cities throughout the United States. In every other city, besides the other 2, it's actually been lower. And so the activity in Vegas is big. And we're not going to see values go down.
Do you feel like that's because we had that huge renter population that moved here during COVID finally decided to like, hey, we've been here a few years, it's time to buy a house? Or do you feel like it's just a continuous wave of California buyers coming through?
I think it's a combination of both. But we're getting 5,000-6,000 people from California every single month. I mean, it's happening. And so people need a place to live. And the nice thing, and obviously I'm pro Vegas. This place is humming. This place is going F1. You got we didn't talk about it, but the NBA in-season tournament coming. You got Amazon right now here in town doing their national convention. It's humming.
We have more. Our conventions used to be pretty simple. It was porn or computers, and they ran during the same week because. Obviously. But now, like you said, we're getting Amazon, we're getting construction, we're getting tech, we're getting every sort of convention here. People feel way more comfortable. Vegas is no longer seen as like, oh, it's just this city where people come to get drunk.
Sin City.
Like they still do come to get drunk, but it's not just that, right? There's a lot more to all. I just went to Peter Luger the other day. Peter Luger, the famous Brooklyn steakhouse, just came to Vegas. And it's weird because in one place in Vegas, you can go to Brooklyn's most famous restaurant.
Oh, I know this steakhouse.
Peter Luger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not been.
It's amazing.
It was hard to get into.
You can get into this one. It's
Okay.
8 times the size of the original. Yeah,
The one in Brooklyn
This is the one.
I used to live in New York, so that was one I know. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you had to wait months to get a
Yeah,
reservation to this place. Yeah.
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 When I watched Gossip Girl, I'm like, how did they get the reservation? Like, how did they get in?
They get the reservation.
When I'm watching TV shows, that's what I think.
Yeah.
How did you guys
How'd you get in?
You're supposed to be broke. How did you guys get this cool thing? Like, what did you guys do?
Yeah.
But now in Vegas, you can go to Peter Luger's, Nobu, Gordon Ramsay's, Bobby Flay's, and never leave Caesar's Palace little area. You can experience
crazy.
all the in one area.
Yeah.
So Vegas is humming, and people consistently. I keep waiting for it to stop, for people to be like, okay,
It's not stopping. The momentum is so big right now, and you're going to have continual people moving in here. I mean, for so many different reasons.
In fact, next week I want to pick your brain on
Okay.
on the commercial success of Vegas from the commercial side, because a lot of people are coming out here to start businesses because of our low tax rates and the availability of already built out units and things like that. And I would love to pick your brain. I'm talking, so I set myself a reminder in my
Okay,
brain
reminder.
to pick your brain.
Brandon, not to brag, but I was a commercial real estate appraiser.
Yeah, but
so I
she's-
do know that.
Yeah, but I want to talk to her about it.
Well, but is it because she's better looking than me? Is that?
Definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Well, okay. I'll take a back seat.
Okay.
If I have to.
It's okay, Bill. It's okay, Bill. Sometimes we gotta take a back seat,
I know,
right? We gotta let the pretty people stand in front. That's the way it works.
I would see.
From a mortgage perspective, why do you think people always wait for the interest rate to drop and the crowds to rush in instead of just buying and then refinancing later? Do you feel like they're not aware that they can refinance, or do they just not know the financial numbers involved with the process?
Well, that's a great question, because most people that I work with come in and they say, I want to have my mortgage payment to be X, right? Let's say it's $2,500. And so they focus on this $2,500 payment, right? And when interest rates are higher, that $2,500 payment may be $3,000, right? And they go, whoa, I can't afford that. On paper, they can. In their mind, they can't,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's a mindset thing.
It's a hurdle.
So it is a hurdle. So that's where the holdback is a mindset. They technically can afford to do that, and the ratios work and all that, but the mindset doesn't allow them to do it. So they go, I'm going to wait till rates come down so I can afford it. But then people
You lose
jump
your
in,
purchasing power.
and the 1% drop in interest rates
Yeah.
brings in 3.5 to 5 million buyers nationally.
Yeah.
So it just so buying while there's not as many buyers that can qualify is really the time to buy.
I feel like people treat their mortgage and their real estate in general the way they treat relationships, where they'd rather choose scars over bruises, right? Like taking a hit and buying a high mortgage rate leaves a bruise, right? You're paying more mortgage than you expected.
Yeah.
But in the long run, you're saving yourself from the scars of having to try to buy a home when the market's super competitive. And for some reason, people are trained to always choose these short-term financial decisions over something that'll help them long-term.
Yeah.
That's something that I see it every day when I send clients to you and they're so afraid of like, well, aren't I going to pay more mortgage right now? And you and I are like, yeah, but you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars not competing with millions of people next year.
Yeah, and actually could potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars by getting in now versus waiting.
This is a true story. And I can't use my clients' names, confidentiality, and all that stuff. I sold some clients' house. You actually were their lender.
remember them. Yeah.
We sold their house in Summerlin. I told people it's the last $500,000 house to ever be in Summerlin. I promise you, it'll never be that way again. We bought their house $500,000 flat. The townhomes that are being built next door are starting at $560,000 for townhomes.
Yeah.
So these people are already in the $580,000 range, and it's not even been a year yet. Next year, when the rates drop and more people flood to Summerlin, what's their house going to be worth?
Yeah.
In 1 year, they might make $100,000.
That's the American dream right there. Right there.
It is.
And people don't always realize that, oh, I'll rent. I don't know. I'm saving money. No, you're not saving money.
You're never saving money. In fact, again, I need you, Bill, because my brain goes a million miles per hour. We have to talk. We should show people the financial data next week of just how much they're losing by renting. They should see it. We should honestly put it on the screen.
I love that.
They
graph.
should see it. They 100% should see it. Like over time, if your average rent raises 3% per year, right? And we're in a market here in Vegas with no rental cap. So I can raise your rent $300 if someone's willing to pay for it, right? You think you're saving money, but how can you save money when someone can dictate the price of your home?
Well, I look at it. We have a thing, of course, the brain and the math, cost of waiting. So there's rent versus own, and there's a cost of waiting. And I think there's a huge cost of waiting right now.
100%.
And I, to piggyback off of when's the right time to buy, I think right now, the people that have their houses listed for sale right now, they want to sell.
Yeah.
Right? But there's not as many buyers right now until the buying season comes in. This is a ripe time for them to get, seller paid closing costs.
Yes. From someone who is currently trying to sell 4 listings, let me tell you, from the seller's perspective, it is tough. I mean, I'm doing 2 open houses a week, and we're barely getting traction on beautiful homes. If these homes were listed in 2021, they'd be off the market in 24
2
hours.
hours. Yeah.
Right outside of Summerlin, right in Green Valley, right? Prime real estate. And I can barely get people to show up to open houses right now.
That's interesting you say that, because I was picking my son up from school yesterday, and I like to drive through the neighborhoods to get to know him. And I saw all these open house signs, and I'm like, it's Wednesday at 3 p.m. Like, who has an open house on Wednesday at 3? It's what's happening.
We have to. I need to catch one buyer. I will sit in an open house for 3 hours to catch one buyer just to see who's out there actually shopping right now, right? And I can admit this. I'm good at marketing properties. It's one of the things I'm good at. I can market a property. I can get it in people's faces. Showing after showing, and I'm talking about people have no problem sending me an offer on a $600,000 house at $550,000. Like they're not even, there's no shame or nothing. To them, that's where the value is at right now. And so if you're a buyer, understand sellers need to sell their houses.
They do.
We're paying this mortgage every month. Every time a seller has to pay their mortgage, that's money deducted from the list price of the house. Oh, I paid $3,000 on my mortgage this month. Well, shit, that's just $3,000 you lost from the list price. After 3 months, your seller's lost $10,000. They're ready to go. They're ready to move.
Yeah.
And I think from both perspectives, sellers need to sell. Buyers can get a good deal. It makes no sense that the market can be this slow sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel, I get people that come in to buy, right? They're getting prepared and ready to go and get their financing in place. I just feel this volume of buyers percolating, and I really feel that this could break, just the floodgates could break next year.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think people are getting used to the higher interest rates. They're basically saying, okay, well, they're here's where they're at.
People adapt to bad.
Go for it. It's like gas prices.
Yeah. Remember that? People were bitching about $5 a gallon, and now it's just like.
Still do, but
Okay.
Yeah.
but you have to fill up your tank. You got to drive.
What am I going to do? Not drive
Right.
to work? Right? What am I going to do? Ride a bike? It's not going to happen. I'm American. I'm driving 2 minutes up the road.
And walk uphill both ways.
Yeah.
This ain't Switzerland. I ain't doing that.
Phil.
Alexandra, what is your best? Because I hate to be doom and gloom, right? I hate to be doom and gloom. What is your best piece of advice for buyers right now? If you could just give them, hey, take this with you if you take nothing else.
Again, what I was talking about earlier is if buying a home is something you want to do, if this is what you want to do financially, whether it's for your family, whatever, I would get pre-approved to find out what you are qualified for. You got to call Bill, but I'd get pre-approved to find out, because we all have these ideas. Well, can I afford a $300,000 home or $800,000 home? I'd find that out. And then I'd start shopping, and I would go out now because, like we just talked about, open houses. The people that have their homes on the market are ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in there with, you have the upper hand right now. There's not the traffic. And if you wait, you're going to miss out. There's going to be backlogs. Both of you guys are going to be busy with, I got this customer. Right now you get basically a white glove service. You are in charge of the house you want to buy. It's
100%.
pick of the litter.
100%. You are I grew up on National Geographic, you are the zebra getting his own grass. The rest of the herd is too scared of the lions to get grass. They're over there hiding, somewhere in the Serengeti, and you're like, all this grass for me?
Yeah.
I don't care about no lion.
You can't domesticate a zebra. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
You're really good at Jeopardy. You feel like somebody's like really good at Jeopardy, because that's a fact that you just had off the top of your brain.
Was it black stripes on a white, or is it white stripes on a black?
I don't know that one.
But see, now you guys are trying to. I'm usually the one distracting him, and now you got me. I love zebra facts, man. Every week I want you to show up with a new.
Oh gosh. Okay.
The zebra fact.
I'll bet you can too.
I'll work on it.
Yeah.
That'd be blessed. But yeah, you right now you can get more. You have your own. You said the best word: options.
Options.
If you're looking to buy in Green Valley right now, which is one of the toughest places to buy in a low interest rate market, do you know how easy it is to buy in Green Valley right now? My listing is already $50,000 less than what we started at.
Wow.
And we were already $40,000 less than the next comp when we first listed it.
So that's built-in equity.
That's built
right
immediately.
Now that could potentially be upwards of $100,000 that you make by buying right now, paying a premium on the mortgage rate.
If you've seen any of these episodes, me and Bill's biggest thing is the trade-off between a little bit of mortgage for a whole lot of equity. If I told you right now, hey, you're going to pay $300 more a month, $300, but at the end of the year, I'm going to give you $100,000. Would you sign up for that deal? Yes. But when I tell you your mortgage is $300 more, but at the end of the year, your house is worth $100K, you freak out. Why? We don't understand. But the whole point of this podcast is to help you guys understand, which is why we want you guys to reach out with questions, comments, leave them below. Bill checks the YouTube. I check the YouTube. We're going to force Alexandra to check the YouTube because she's probably going to give more detailed answers than the both of us, which I'm looking
Zebra
forward
questions.
to. If you have any questions about zebras, leave them in the comments. She's a master of... She's not just a master of everything financial. She's a master of zebras too. So I'm learning. We learn something new every day. Bill, as always, thank you for joining me with stats and knowledge. Alexandra, I really hope to see you more often. We needed this energy.
Thank you.
We needed this energy. We needed somebody to come in and actually make us personable. Mm-hmm. So thank you for doing that.
Okay.
Alexandra, what's the best way for people to find what you do or kind of learn about what you do? Are you social media person?
Social media.
Okay.
Go to Alexandra Harbushka. So that's a long one, spelled like Smith. Just kidding.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad uses that
Your
one.
dad uses that
Yeah.
one?
But go to Alexandra Harbushka. It's on Instagram. I also, alexandraharbushka.com. You can find me there.
We'll make sure to leave her tags in the what's the little box beneath YouTube? You know what I'm talking about,
Description.
Austin. Yeah, description. There we go. See, that's why I got smart people around me. Bill, obviously the best way to reach you is right here. Show on the screen, Austin. If you guys need to reach Bill, his number is 858-776-6830. Bill, is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that correct?
I'm surprised that you actually remembered it after a month and a half off.
At this point,
I know it's
He's reading
behind
it.
you, but it's okay.
I'm cheating, Bill.
Yes, okay. Well,
I'm cheating.
I thought you remembered my number.
And then what is your tag? Bill is good on social media, and he has one of my favorite social media tags of all time. Please tell him what your tag is.
My tag is Oh Gaylord.
How do you say it?
Oh Gaylord. So when I, my wife, when she says like she's like, oh Gaylord, but when I get sexy with her, she goes, oh Gaylord.
My man, pots and pans. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm Brandon from Vegas. Honestly, if you just go to Google and type in Brandon from Vegas, all my crap pops up. Linktree, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all
You're
that
everywhere.
stuff. I am.
You're literally everywhere.
I'm quite ubiquitous nowadays.
That's a big word.
That's my
right?
word of the. I read a word of the day, and I always try to incorporate it
Ubiquitous.
into
Oh,
the
that's
show.
good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
ubiquitous is my word of the day.
Okay.
So I'm glad I snuck that one in there, you guys. As always, this is practical real estate advice from people who have worked every inch of the field. We are live. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, our TikTok live show. Bill, when can they catch because you do another whole show. When can they catch your show, and how can they reach you?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Mortgage rates today.
You can catch Mortgage Rates Today with Bill, where he goes over all the mortgage rates that you guys are asking for. And as always, come and be my neighbor. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.